Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of Inside the Den, where we will be discussing everything to do with the women's and men's wrestling club program at Washington State University. And before I introduce our first guest, I want to make sure that we give a very sincere, appreciative shout out to all the donors that have contributed to this program. Without their generosity, the WSU club program would not be nearly as, I think, successful as it is becoming. If you are interested in making a donation, you'll just need to go to foundation.wsu.edu. You will find a tab there that says program. Under program, go to student clubs, activities, and organizations, and that's where you will find the Wrestling Club Development Fund. And bonus, your donation is tax deductible. So I just want to make sure that we always start our program with some gratitude for all the people that are so supportive of these men and women. You can also find WSU Wrestling on Instagram at WSU_wrestling. And so now I'm so excited to introduce Julie Wilson. And Julie, before we kind of get into it, I want to just let people know you've got some bragging rights this year. So I'm going to tell them a little bit about those, and we'll kind of do a deeper dive into it later. But you took first place at the NCWA Northwest Championship. You were a finalist at this year's NCWA Championship, which was held in Puerto Rico this year. You're the first Washington State wrestler to make it to the finals at NCWA Championships. You earned academic All-American honors this year and were a major contributor to the women's team winning the Team Academic All-American Championship. So, like, big round of applause, right? You really kind of leveled up this year. But before we get into all the cool stuff, just let everybody know what year you are, what your major is, what high school you went to, and where you wrestled.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Julie Wilson. I'm a sophomore here at WSU. I'm currently studying mechanical engineering, and I graduated from Mount Vernon High School over in my hometown, Mount Vernon, back in 2021.
How many years did you wrestle in high school, Julie?
In high school, I wrestled all 4 years.
Is that right?
Okay. Started in middle school, 7th grade. So been wrestling for a little bit. I was varsity all 4 years in high school, I think. So
okay, and there's a lot of people out there that still are not still as familiar with girls high school wrestling and women's collegiate wrestling. They don't realize that there are opportunities for girls to wrestle in elementary school and middle school, that Washington is one of now 38 states that holds an official girls state championship, and that there are many collegiate opportunities for women to wrestle, including club programs like the one at Washington State. So just, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about, of all this work that you could do and all the ways you could spend your time, why wrestling?
Actually, my younger brother, he's been wrestling for a while now, ever since he was like around 5, I believe. It's like kindergarten. So I've kind of always grown up around wrestling. My dad would always like try and get me to do it when I was like younger, but I was always like, no, like I play softball, I'm not gonna do it. And one day in like 7th grade, I was watching this video, and our teacher put on a video about one of the first female wrestlers in like one of the states, I believe. I can't remember. Cool. I can't find the video anymore.
Cool.
But all of a sudden I was like, maybe wrestling's not that bad. Maybe it's not too late to join. Maybe I should do it for fun or to work out or to stay in good shape or try it out. So I'm like driving home with my brother and my dad. And I told them that I was interested in maybe joining. And they both laughed at me, like really loud. And so I was like, out of spite, like, because they didn't believe that I was actually going to do it. They supported me. They just didn't believe me. And so I was like, now I have to do it. And I definitely fell in love, like, with how hard you have to work. It's so hard. And I think that's something that brought me to it so much more than other sports I had done in the past, like soccer and softball, even cross country. I mean, not that they're not hard, but for me and like my body and my style, I just really liked learning technique. I really enjoyed like working with partners and trying new things all of the time, new moves. So that's kind of what brought me to wrestling.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring up partners. You know, a lot of people think of wrestling as it's an individual sport, and I'm like, well, can you imagine walking into a wrestling room and it's empty? You know, who are you going to train with? Who are you going to commiserate with? Who are you going to celebrate with? And so I actually think wrestling is very much a team sport. We cannot achieve in the sport of wrestling without others. So okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about of your academic choices. Why did you choose Washington State University to be your academic school of choice?
I chose Washington State University because of their mechanical engineering program. They're really accredited and they have a wonderful program, hands-on for undergrads. It's really nice to be able to have so many hands-on classes for an undergrad. Definitely. I like that it's like further away from my home back on the west side of Washington, but still close enough that I can go home if I need to.
Yeah.
um, I really liked the school here. Everyone here is so kind. Like the community is kind. I remember reaching out to admissions to other schools and then reaching out to WSU, and the treatment that I got was drastically different. Immediately, I was getting like interviews or meetings with professors in my degree. I was set up with Zoom calls with advisors who were super friendly. And from other schools, I was getting like an email and like a little bit of information. And it was just an environment that I really enjoyed. And I also saw that they had a club, and I was like, for wrestling, I was like, how cool would it be to focus on my degree and wrestle on the side? And then I just got way more into it.
So what I'm hearing is from a customer service side, Washington State University really 5-star customer service.
Yeah, I really felt like they cared. Like they really went out of their way to make me feel like this was the right choice. Like they were trying to answer my questions as best they could and actually see if it was a good fit for me rather than just trying to get me into the school.
And do you think that that has carried on now that you're actually a student there, that that just wasn't part of the admissions process?
I definitely do. Like professors are always reaching out for me, at least saying, "Hey, if you need help, I'm available." Like you set up a Zoom meeting for office hours. All of my classmates are very friendly. The people here have a very friendly environment, friendly community, always like going out of their way to help people if they need it. I think it's like something really special.
And since you grew up on the West Side, and for anyone that may be watching this and they don't quite understand what I mean by West Side, East Side, the state of Washington is kind of divided, if you will, by a big mountain range, and everything on the west side of that mountain range is very rainy, a lot of great days, but also very wooded and beautiful. This is where you'll often find our the Olympic Peninsula and our Olympic Mountain Range and Mount Rainier. And then to the east of that mountain range, it becomes actually quite dry. And it's where we have a really thriving agricultural component to our state. So now that you've been on the east side a little longer, what do you think about living in Pullman and being an East Sider and what just the whole environment is like?
There's definitely not as many things to do over in Pullman in comparison to like up in Bellingham or Seattle on the
Yeah,
west
you're
side.
not likely going to a Mariners game, from WSU.
No, no. But I really love like again the community. It's like close knit. There's someone for everyone here. Like there's a niche for like every type of thing you're into. There's enough students to where you can find friends that like love what you do
Oh,
on your
that's
free time.
fantastic. Something for everyone. I
So
love that.
very much
Okay,
friend hanging out oriented. It's nice.
yeah. And even though it's not in a big metropolis area like another school, do you feel like there's enough campus activity happening where you'll always find something to do? There's always something happening. Is there enough on campus to make things interesting?
I think so. The campus is always engaging with students and setting up events. Like this year, I took part in a modeling fashion show. They
Oh
put
my
on
gosh, I love
comedy
it.
acts.
Wrestling to modeling. What can't Julie do?
Yeah, I actually had a black eye when I was modeling, and it took me
Even
two
better.
hours of makeup to cover it up for the show. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's spectacular. Okay, speaking of black eyes and wrestling, talk with me about the club. Why you mentioned before, good academic school for your major, but also an opportunity to continue wrestling. Talk a little bit about the club and your experience so far.
Yeah, I found the club because one of the girls who went to a school kind of across the street from us, across the river, and she was friends with one of my friends. I actually saw our president, James, on her story, and he was wearing a WSU wrestling singlet. And I was like, I didn't know they had a team. And I found this out like my junior year. And I remember being like, oh, like that's kind of cool. Like, I wonder what it's like. And getting here, I was definitely really excited to go to the first informational meeting. But during the summer, we actually had a fundraiser golf tournament, and I got to meet some of the people on the team before actually coming and to school. So actually, I met McKenna, who was super friendly.
Oh yeah.
Definitely someone I looked up to on the team. She really made me feel included, and I kind of felt like I already had friends and a support system before even coming to WSU. It was really nice to feel that. And then finally going to like the informational meeting, I saw some familiar faces.
Mhm.
I felt really welcome to ask questions, and then showing up to practice was really fun. I really like the environment of being able to come to practice like every day. Like there's a time to come to practice. People who want to work hard, and the people on the team are definitely friendly, caring, understanding people who are also getting their college degrees. Like
Yeah.
they get it. So it's a really nice community, and I'm so glad that I found it here at WSU.
So, for people who don't know McKenna, she'll be graduating this year, moving on to really awesome things. And it is, I'm going to miss not having McKenna around a little more, because if there is anyone that can put out the welcome mat for WSU wrestling, it's McKenna.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's an amazing ambassador for the sport of wrestling. She's been an amazing ambassador for the WSU program, and we're gonna have to kind of figure out who is the new McKenna, because man, if that girl's excited about something, you probably better check it out.
Yeah. No, we're gonna miss her next year, but she's been a huge part of why this program even exists.
Talk a little bit. You mentioned two things. You mentioned, being able to have like go to a practice every day. Talk about a little bit about um, just that. Like we actually have practices Monday through, Friday or Saturday, and then let everybody know where you actually get to practice.
Yeah, we got to practice in the physical education building. There's wrestling mats that we lay out over there. We did have practices last year, Monday through Thursday, and then like halfway through the year, we ended up getting Fridays as well. And this year we had practices Monday through Thursday for 2 hours, and then an hour on Friday. So it was really nice to be able to have our own space and our own time slot. And as our club gets bigger and bigger, I believe that we get more of a priority to choose our time and run our practices easier.
Yeah, for anyone who's not been on the WSU campus for a while, I'm pretty sure that it's the exact same wrestling room that was there when I was a student at Washington State. So it really is actually a very nice wrestling room. It's got padded walls. There's a goal of getting some new mats in there for next year. So in terms of a quality space, I think the
Yeah,
WC Club is very fortunate to be able to have that space, and to be able to use
absolutely.
it on such a consistent, regular basis, the way you would expect if it was a university, varsity program to be able to have
Right.
a
Right. Yeah.
quality dedicated space. So okay, so I started off with all the accolades. She did this, right? And on paper, that stuff looks so good, and it's such a great way to cap the the end of the season. But wrestling, just as in life, comes with a lot of highs and lows. Would you be willing to talk a little bit about some of the lows this year and how you feel like you navigated through those?
Yeah, I had some lows. I would say the start of the season, starting off, was a little hard to get kind of back into it,
Yeah.
especially with some classes that I was taking, like my engineering classes that can be really rough. And I had some pretty frustrating medical issues this year as well that really cut into my time or my ability to be able to wrestle. And then I had family misfortunes as well. So it just kind of felt like everything was really piling up on me all at once. About right during finals week.
Oh man.
Right before winter break. And that was really hard for me. I had a really hard time adjusting, but being on the wrestling team, there's people that care about you and that understand. Like, you don't have to share everything about your personal life, but you have I have friends on that team who really do value and care about me and understand. And I talked to some of them about it, and they were able to be able to like support me and make me feel like I'm not alone in the world, because what a lot of people forget is that you're not alone. Everyone is going through something really hard. It doesn't matter who it is. Everyone has something that's frustrating, and it feels so nice to not be the only one, to not feel like you're the only one that's going through something. And wrestling really helped me focus on something that wasn't my life. I was able to take it out on the mat or go to practice and let my mind wander.
Right.
And yeah, I had this community, and it was hard, but it was good because I was able to figure out how to adjust and figure out how to get my mind back in it and get ready for the nationals.
And I think when we're all looking for that, we're looking for community for the fun things, but having community when things are hard, and being able to be as vulnerable as you feel comfortable sharing, like, I'm not doing so great, these things are happening, and knowing that you have teammates or coaches that are willing to listen to you, that aren't expecting you to just power through, that are invested in you off the mat and the things that you're dealing with. I think that's when we talk about community, it's not just for all the good fun things, right? It's for life's normal hardships. And I'm so glad that that you have people on the team that when you or someone else is going through those things, I can turn to these people, and they're gonna be able to support me through it. So let's talk about the other side of that, which is share some of the highs this season.
Some of the heights. My season wrestling wise started off a little rocky with some getting used to the freestyle again. um but I had some good success towards the end of the season, just kind of amping up my technique, working on my strategy. I think my mental game is probably one of the things that improved the most this season, is strapping in my brain and being like, you know what, you got to get in it, calm down, and wrestle smart.
I
And that's
love
kind of
that.
what sets
Strapping
me
in
up.
my brain. We may have to put that on a t-shirt. I love
Yeah,
that.
no, it's a whole different mindset to be able to wrestle,
Yeah.
it takes a whole like, for me, I'm definitely one of those people that takes a minute. It takes a process. I've got to have 20 minutes to be ready. Like, I can't just walk out there and go, or I'm gonna trip. um, but yeah, towards the end of the season, I did really well. I did win conferences for Northwest region. So that was super exciting for me to finally get that number one spot. And then going to nationals, Puerto Rico was really cool.
It was cool. I'm not gonna
cool.
lie. I mean, I think we all had a really good time.
And then like giving back to my coaches was probably my favorite part, honestly. Making it to the finals was huge for me because it was like yeah, all my coaches are proud and they've worked so hard to help train me, and like they really have been a huge support system. Every coach cares about you, like who you are as a person and how you're doing. And I think that it was really nice to be able to show that I had really improved this season towards the end. It was nice.
Yeah, I really feel like the closer we got to nationals and conference and everything, you did really start dialing in. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
she's letting all these other things fall away. She knows exactly what she wants. She knows how she plans on getting it. And talking about coaches a little bit, with a program the size of Washington State's, do you feel like every coach is really in it for you?
Yeah, I do. Coach Phil, especially, he cares. He really cares about you. You need
Yeah.
something, he's gonna do it. I don't know how many times I've called him just to talk about my personal life, just to ask him if he could help me out on something, like a
Yeah.
small favor, like just like staying the night. And he's a wonderful coach. He cares so much. And Coach Cameron, he is so thoughtful. I mean, he is very thoughtful and he really cares about helping you get the results that you want. Yeah, Coach Kyler, he's a wonderful guy. Doesn't matter how many times you've seen him, he's going to be hyped up,
Yep.
ready, get you on the mat, and they're supporting you. And even you, Miss Andrea,
It's me.
you care about everyone too. You're always putting a new perspective for me, and I really value that.
Thanks. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the women's team really growing at Washington State right now. So I mean, Julie, just explain to everyone how long have they really had a women's team? And what do you see happening right now where we're ramping up? Because there's a lot of recruitment discussion and things happening in that regard. So just talk about the women's team itself.
Okay, this is my favorite part.
Saving the best for
Yeah,
last, right?
we had huge growth this year. We finished with 7 girls wrestling at nationals, which is huge compared to last year with 3. This is our second year. So we just finished our second season of women's wrestling here at WSU. So last year was the first year we actually had the club program running.
That's the pioneering group right there. The pioneer.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome. So like seeing all these new girls coming in this season, it was so exciting for me to finally have like practice partners, friends that I care about, all these people, all these girls that are just excited and feel the same way that I do, and have a lot more of like a community on the women's side versus just in with the men too.
Yeah.
I really love the growth. We have a lot of recruits. We have girls texting us and being like, hey, I saw this. I want to join. Like, this is really cool. Like coming to us, and like we're seeking out too, but just to have so many people coming to us only is huge. I'm really thinking we're going to double again. So we over doubled this year, and we're going to double again in the next year.
Well, I look forward to it. I'm not sure I've been so it's been a while since I've been so excited about like the next wrestling season, and
No.
making some of those connections with some of the girls that are graduating high school this year and thinking about their next higher education choice. We're going to do this fun thing now with the Inside the Den episode podcast video cast. I'm not sure what this is yet, but this is our content. So we're gonna do this fun thing. We're gonna ask you 5 burning questions.
Okay.
Okay, first burning question: 1 scoop or 2 scoops for ice cream?
2 scoops all the way. It's all or nothing if it's ice cream.
Okay, cats or dogs?
Dogs. I love my dog. I have my dog here at school with me. His name is Cougar. Thank you. And I love him so much. He's this cute white golden retriever.
Okay, if wrestling was not your number one sport, softball or volleyball?
Softball. There's something about hitting that ball with a bat that just makes you feel so good inside. I don't know. Or catching it. It's just so satisfying. I don't know.
I know it does feel good to smash things sometimes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In softball, you get to smash something and it's encouraged, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Country music or pop?
Oh gosh. I'm the type of person that likes listening to all music. I like country, I like rock, I
You
like
have to
pop, I
choose.
like electronic.
You have
I
to
have to
choose.
choose.
Yep.
I'll probably go pop just because I have probably a few more there.
Coffee or tea?
See, I'm a try everything type of person, but I'll go coffee. I'll go
Okay, good
coffee.
girl. Good girl. Coffee. That's my drink. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this segment with something really fun. So we're always gonna do the 5 burning questions, but one thing that we're gonna do with this content is if we're doing an interview format, then we're always gonna ask the featured guest of our episode to tag the next person to be featured in the next episode. So, Julie, this is your moment to do the big reveal on who you are tagging to do the next episode of Inside the Den. And who are you tagging?
I am tagging Tyson Russell for the next one.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you want to tell everybody about Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson is one of my favorite people on the team. He's someone who is super funny, super fun to talk to. He is extremely passionate about wrestling. So I think he's perfect for this. And he's definitely one of the up and coming guys on the team. He was the like another freshman on the team when I first joined. So he kind of has similar experience with me, but from the guys' views, and he has a lot of awesome thoughts on the program.
And do you think Tyson is going to be surprised that he got tagged like right out
I
of the
think he
gate?
probably is. I don't think
Okay.
he thinks that I was going to tag him, but
Okay.
you know,
Now, Julie, do you think you should let him know that he's getting tagged, or should I just reach out and be like, guess what? You're it.
I think you should be like, you're it, you know, and
Okay.
then he can yell at me later when he sees this.
Julie, final thoughts moving into the summer. Some training opportunities. Are you doing internships? What are your plans moving into the summer?
Yeah, I recently applied for an internship that I really hope I get.
Okay.
But if I don't, I'm probably going to be working a lot.
Okay.
And I'm either going to be practicing here in Pullman or hopefully practicing over back home in like Mount Vernon, Seizure Woolley.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to reach out to one of my old coaches over there and be like, hey, make me good. And then I'm probably going to try and visit with Hunter Haney a little bit as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So Hunter Haney, Coach Haney is another one of our supporters and one of our coaches. And look up Hunter. He's awesome. There's some
He's
fun
awesome.
facts about Hunter. We'll do an episode with Hunter, and we're going to get into some real good stuff with him. He
Oh
is
yeah.
an amazing person. Again, really passionate about the sport of wrestling. He will jump in and help any kid, doesn't care who it is. As soon as he's in there, he is dialed in, and you would never know that, that Hunter isn't there at practice every single day. That's how dialed in and passionate he becomes.
No, he's one of the coolest guys that I've met for sure.
Yeah, he's super cool. All right, Julie, thank you so much for being our very first guest on Inside the Den.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.